Hi, it's Anne. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to be making a triangle-shaped booklet today. This is not anything I invented. It did occur to me recently. Oh, I wonder if I could make books or junk journal inserts in different shapes. And let me just see if there's a triangle, instructions for a triangle booklet out there. Guess what? There are. So people far more clever than I have thought of this already, and I am just following their lead. It makes a really nice and a really unusual thing to tuck into a junk journal pocket. We're going to be looking at ways that you can use them in just a minute. But first, let's go ahead and make one. We need a square sheet of paper. This is just a piece of kind of lightweight copy weight paper that I believe I've cut it 11, yeah, I think it's 11 inches square. But anyway, we're just going to fold it. I just have done really, really bad and kind of garish dyeing on here. But I'm just going to fold it in half this way. And then I'm going to fold it in half this way. You can see how easy this is. And then I'm going to, on the side that has all of the folds, don't use the open sides here. Go to the sides that have the folds and pull one folded edge down so it's parallel with the other folded edge. And the reason I stress that whole folded edge thing is because I have done this wrong a time or two. And it comes out in pieces instead of all being connected. Just using my bone folder to crispify that edge a little bit. So here my folded edges and another folded edge coming down here to all be together in perfectly folded harmony. Yeah, I really used some kind of bright distress inks when I was smooshing them down onto this paper making this last night. But you know, it's kind of garish and overpowering all, you know, in one big piece. Fold it up into these little small bits. It's not quite so bad. Now, I'm going to want to make a perfect isosceles triangle here. And I'm using my grid to kind of help me do that. And I'm going to draw a line and then I'm going to cut on that line. And it doesn't have to be geometrically perfect, but it helps. It helps. I'm drawing the line just because I want that to be, to draw it this way. That doesn't look exactly straight. Well, let's cut it anyway and see if it is. I'm going to cut it and then I can recut it if that needs doing. Just using my aluminum straight edge. Working on multiple thicknesses here. I have to straighten that up with some scissors, which is easily done. All right, here's our little triangle. This is going to become a booklet. And you can see, if I turn it this way, we'll open it up. We got some pages there, we got some pages there, and we can have pages on the back. And if you want, you can open up the whole thing and you can journal on the back. But let's just kind of look at how this could work. this is something that you could stamp on because we don't want it super thick. It's meant, at least in my mind, it's meant to be written on. You don't want it getting really, really bulky because then it's hard to put into a journal. But I wonder if this might be a good point for me to show you how I used this model, and I actually made a working booklet. This is going into my gardening notebook, and I love just sort of making lists of different things that are growing in the garden with the dates that they're going and my observations, things that, you know, are going great, things that I'm going to have to do again later. And I just started writing here. There's nothing terribly personal here, so if you're really interested in how my lettuce seeds are things I'm going to have to try again, or how I cut back my coral bells, feel free to read this. You're not invading my privacy at all. But what nice little journaling space this booklet provides to us. And, you know, just this is a great way to write down short items that can stand alone, but are all sort of tied together into a theme. And so I was thinking, what if you know, we're doing a journal about, you know, your special friendships or something like that. And you know, maybe you just got back from a class reunion or a family reunion or something of that nature. What if each person, you just wrote down a couple of little special things about them on each one of these pages? There's really places in our journaling life for things like this. And then again, if I wanted to get, you know, really busy writing about, you know, all of the great things in my garden, I could do that. So this, I think, could benefit from a paper clip to help keep it closed. I mean, I have it in my in the pocket of my journal here, and that, you know, keeps it pretty well closed. But I thought it might be kind of nice to have a little paper clip there. So let's talk about how we might be able to do that. I could just leave this paper clip like this, and that would be fine. But what if I wanted to make it a little fancier? I wanted to show you a way that you can alter a paper clip where it's really useful on a little journal like this to embellish a paper clip. So I just took my 1-inch punch, and I'm going to go back to my paper clip here, and I'm going to take one of these are double thickness, a book page. I'm slipping one into this paper clip, and you know what? Why don't I just use a regular paper clip, because that's kind of a special paper clip. Why don't I just use the ordinary kind of paper clip, the trombone paper clip? And it's fine that it's sticking out because we're going to put a little dangle there. And then I take my 3-in-1 glue, or Fabri-Tac, just because it's the strong variety. And I get a pretty good blob of glue there, especially around that metal. And then I put this on top. And I just pinch it down. Of course, I could have pinched this or punched this circle out of anything. Probably should have distressed the edges before I glued it on, but that's okay. And there's our altered paper clip. I have ways of doing this in a mass make, the larger ones that are a little more decorative, but when you just want just a little something there to hold something close, you can do that. I could put a button or something there. If I wanted to dangle something off of this little part of that trombone sticking out, I could do that. And we got, whoops, Anne. One of my beads just fell off here. It's like being somewhere and having your necklace break and scatter all over the floor. Have you ever had that happen? Of course, now we'd probably be going, oh, let me pick up those beads. I'll put them, I'll use them for junk journal jewelry. There we go. So there's a little dangle that can go there. So use this, don't use it, but that's an easy way to keep a little booklet like this close. Let's look at a couple of other ways, or keep it closed. Let's look at another couple of ways that we could use this. Here is one that I made out of some very thin scrapbook paper. But I was thinking this might be fun to have really be a true booklet where there's a bit of binding here on the side. So why don't I grab some washi tape? Do I want that pink? I think I'll go with this green. And all I'm gonna do is just put a little extra washi, or a little extra glue on the back of this washi, because as we know, we do not trust washi tape to be really heavy, have a heavy duty adherence factor. And I'm just gonna come over and bind these two folded edges together. And that's going to be the spine of our little booklet. Well, I thought I had a little something I could put on the front of this journal. I seem to have misplaced it. That wasn't very good planning on my part. But let's talk about the inside. Now, there's little open, you can see here that this, just opens and you've got several spreads there. What if we wanted to cover this pattern paper so we could journal on this busy background? Well, I found an easy way to do that is to make another one of these booklets, but in a slightly smaller size, and then just cut that out. And that way you don't have any waste. This is one that I made out of, that's going to be almost the same size. I think, yeah, no, it's enough smaller that I think we're okay with that. So here's another one that I'm just going to cut this apart. Don't be shocked. But these are going to be the exact same proportions, I think, out of this blank paper to glue here. I'm just going to do a couple of those. I won't do the whole thing. But you can see how easy that is to put together. And you could do a little stamping. Get anything that keeps it where it can remain nice and flat. There we go. So we've got some nice little journaling space inside this piece of patterned paper for a different kind of a triangle book. Again, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but checking. I thought that piece that I misplaced I might have put underneath my craft mat. Oh, I don't know exactly where it went, but I'm not too worried about it because I have all kinds of doodads over here that I can reach into. So here's, you can see, you're just going to go through there. I'll do the same there and there. And we'll have a true, more of a book style. Let's see, what can I put on the front here? What might be nice? This little tree? I don't think so. Let's see, that looks kind of cute and summery, doesn't it? A little root beer and a little plaid napkin. Why don't I ground it with a little bit of book page here? Might make the book page go up and down. Oh, that other piece I had at the ready that suddenly went missing, that'll come in handy for something else. So how are you folks all doing? I hope nobody got caught in that transportation nightmare over the weekend that grounded planes all over the country for a while. Oh, what a mess that was. Was that like last Friday, I think? I know Gail Augustinelli said that she had some people at her retreat that had plans to go home that were stranded because they couldn't, their flights weren't leaving. Of course, there seems like well, I'm sure it was very inconvenient. There would be worse things than being stranded at a craft retreat with Gail Augustinelli. I would almost say sign me up for that kind of stranding, but anyway, I don't mean to make light of it because it's never, people have schedules that they want to keep, and it's never inconvenient to have those disrupted, but it sounded like they were making the most of things, making the best of things. And there we go. It's my little bit of oddball glue page there. There, this might not be the fanciest thing done, but what if you were going to have in your journal, just a little, maybe a few notes about, summer picnics, or maybe a few, menu ideas or things for that, that you could do for a summertime thing. Your little motif on the front can really inform what you put on the inside. And then I would have more journaling space there and there. So again, a nice different little little piece. And if here's another one of my little circle paper clips. Anyway, there you go. It's so nice to have a different kind of shape that you can put into your journals. I pulled this one off just a little bit before that glue dried, so being a little bit strident with that, but that's letting me actually manipulate that paper clip just a little bit more. So I'm going to let this dry before I require any more of it. And I hope you enjoyed that. Think of ways that you can add some triangles to your journal. If you wanted, you could make these little pockets to put a few little, small tuckables in there. But this one, I think I'm just really happy to leave with all of my nerdy garden notes. I'm very nerdy about my compost bin. So anyway, have fun folding up your triangles, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.